What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So over the last few days, many of you have been sending me these images of this new Xbox system that's just kind of found its way online, and I looked into it, and there does appear to be a bit more to the story, so we're going to go over that one here today. Also, we're going to be talking about a big Nintendo Switch eShop sale that is going on right now with several good games seeing some solid discounts, and we're also going to talk about Sony and McDonald's going at it over a PlayStation 5 controller. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below and ring that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all the uploads here on the channel. And we're going to start today with Microsoft and the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, a couple years ago, Bethesda showed us the Elder Scrolls 6, which was just the title card for the game. And most of us thought, okay, it's going to be a while before we see the Elder Scrolls 6. Well, recently in a podcast on IGN, Phil Spencer confirmed it's going to be a while before we see the Elder Scrolls 6. We can head over to Game Rant, where they say Xbox head Phil Spencer confirms the Elder Scrolls 6 won't release until after Playground Games' Fable, hinting at a post-2023 release date. This is because we assume Fable is coming out in 2023, considering Starfield is basically slotted in now for the big holiday title for 2022 with Microsoft, meaning Elder Scrolls 6 could be a 2024, maybe even a 2025 release. This could be like towards the back end of this generation that's just now starting up, and it's a pretty large gap between when we had Skyrim release, that in 2011. That could be like a 13 to 14 year gap. And I mean, we've seen Skyrim go to so many systems at this point, and obviously expectations are continuing to build as we go along. So it sounds like it's gonna be many more years of expectations building up for the Elder Scrolls 6. So here's hoping when it does eventually get shown, it can meet those expectations. Also, we had Take-Two release their most recent financial report, which means they get to talk about how many copies of Grand Theft Auto 5 they have sold. We can head over here to gamesindustry.biz, where they say Grand Theft Auto 5 topped 150 million units shipped, with Grand Theft Auto Online's audience size up 72% over where it was 2 years ago. They also talked about Red Dead Redemption 2, saying it's now shipped more than 38 million copies, and its online user base being up over 18% where it was in the first quarter 2 years ago. And I mean, we just have to stop buying Grand Theft Auto 5 if we want to get GTA 6. I mean, think about it. Came out in 2013, and it was on 360 and the PS3, and we got that next-gen version to the Xbox One and the PS4. And that makes sense. All right, cool. You know, by the end of the generation, I'm sure we'll be talking about GTA 6. Nope, we're talking about another next-gen version of GTA 5 coming out with this holiday for the PS5 and the Xbox series and all this. And I guess if you're Rockstar and Take-Two and you're looking around, you're like, what, do we need GTA 6? People keep buying this game. It sold several million copies, I think, over the last like 6 months or something. And it's just, I know it's because it's attached to the Grand Theft Auto Online game itself. And people are probably buying GTA 5 and not even going into the single player, just going right to the online. And I'm not sure if they're going to continue that practice with GTA 6, introduce a whole nother online service, or if they're just going to separate this one and have it just be a live service going forward. But I mean, the more Grand Theft Auto 5 sells, the less likely I think it is that we see GTA 6 anytime soon. That's another game that has massive expectations around it, and here's hoping they can live up to those. Oh, and we do know that Fatal Frame is coming out October 28th, multi-platform release, which means it'll have a shot at a pretty large audience overall, but it does look like there's one issue here when it comes to the physical release of the game. We can head over here. This posted up on Nintendo Everything. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater confirmed digital only on Switch in the West, but going physical in Japan and Asia with English support. So this is a similar thing that happened recently with Ninja Gaiden, that collection. I managed to get it through PlayAsia and it got shipped out to me physically. It has the English option on all of that. But this release is going to be the same way. If you want it physically, you're going to have to import it. And fortunately, the Switch being region-free and that English option, it allows us to do that. It is a shame that it's just going to be digital only, but most likely, I have a feeling they realize this game probably isn't going to sell that well overall to where it might not be worth really publishing a physical copy of it everywhere in the world. I mean, on the Wii U, it was digital only as well. So it's a shame, but I guess at least there's a way to get it physically if you want it. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with the Xbox Stream Box. This is an Xbox that have just kind of appeared online, at least that's the story right now, that these images leaked out of a prototype for this new system that Microsoft was looking to get out this holiday. We can see over on Twitter, it was posted up here by PostUp, and we can see two images. We'll give a nice little zoom in here, and yeah, it looks like the Series S that's just been massively cut down without that big speaker grill on the top. And as soon as this got posted up, it started to make the rounds very, very quickly, to the point where people believe that Microsoft is absolutely coming out with an Xbox Stream Box this holiday. And looking at the renders, I mean, it's a very good job overall for kind of like showcasing what it could look like. However, I am leaning towards this most likely being a fake, but it kind of reminds me of the render that we had, where, remember we had that box, the Series S? This was ahead of when Microsoft showed it to us, and it was this really well done render of it. So that's kind of where I am with this, but this came from an anonymous 4chan post, and there were some extra details attached to it. We can head over here to Tech Radar, where it says the anonymous post posted on May 25th claims this design render is from early 2021 and that the device looks a little different now. The post claims that device plugs straight into your TV, allowing Xbox players to stream from their home console or play via cloud, like the Xbox Cloud streaming. Post also claims the button seen beside the USB is an IR receiver, allowing any Xbox controller to pair with it with mouse and keyboard support planned. In addition, the device will apparently have Wi-Fi and Ethernet support, will support party chat, and allow players to download compatible Xbox apps such as Disney Plus and HBO. Now, the funny thing about 4chan is sometimes things do legitimately leak out there. Like, if you're unaware, the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, that did leak out early on 4chan. I think it was even posted up on April 1st, and no one believed it. And then after it was revealed, everyone went back and realized that it had been leaked months in advance. This one, however, I think is just someone playing around in some sort of program where they can do rendering, where you can do it in like CAD or Photoshop or other things, right? And you can kind of throw this together and drop it online. And the reason I feel like it's catching on and people are believing this could be real is mostly because Xbox and Phil Spencer himself has said that they are pursuing something like this, or at least have plans to pursue. It makes sense. They want xCloud in TVs natively, and if they can't do that, they'll have maybe a streaming stick like what we've seen with Amazon and their Fire Stick. It makes sense considering it would be a low cost of entry if you even have an Xbox controller with it, and if you can package in Game Pass Ultimate for like a year and you push it out there for $100, there are gonna be people who probably buy that because they see like a solid value there with a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and this streaming stick to just kind of plug into a TV in a spare bedroom, or maybe that is their main way to play. That's something else we have to realize. Some people are coming into the gaming space now and just doing cloud gaming. And it sounds weird to some of us, like, I'm mostly just gonna play on a console, right? I'm not really thinking, oh, I'm gonna just cloud streaming is gonna be my main way to play. But there are people who are doing that and coming into the hobby now, the video game space, because it is a lower barrier of entry. And if a streaming stick would allow you to have that on your TV that doesn't have xCloud or Xbox game streaming as part of the OS on the TV, it makes sense for Microsoft to do that and put it in Best Buys and other places. This, however, I don't necessarily believe is legitimate. I think it's just someone having some fun putting it out there and it just happened to catch on. Next up, let's talk about the big sale going on right now for the Nintendo Switch eShop. Now, I did make a list of several games, and we'll kind of scroll through their sales page they have up right now, and I noticed that they don't actually have like a sale that they've divided up onto their deals page. These are just kind of thrown and mixed in. So some of these are a little harder to find, but feel free to take a look. I'll have it in the sources down below, but we're going to start with Blossom Tales, which is an awesome game, by the way. If you have not played this and you're a fan of kind of like the top-down Zelda games, think of like A Link to the Past, you want to check this one out, and it's less than $4 right now. Crisis Remastered is down to $14.99. Darksiders, like across the board, is pretty much marked down, with Darksiders Genesis at $18. Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition at $13.49. Darksiders War Master Edition at $13.49. All the Dragon Quest games 1 through 3 are on sale for $3.24, $4.21, and $8.11 Gear Club Unlimited 2, if you're looking for more of a simulation racing game, is $8. Langrisser 1 and 2 is down to $25. That's actually half off from $50. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is a phenomenal game and everyone should try it out. It is $16, that marked down to $40. I'll always throw Okami HD into every one of these sales lists if it's on sale because it's completely worth the $10 that's going for right now. SNK 40th Anniversary Collection at $19.99. Star Renegades at $14.99. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 is $29.99, and then Trails of Cold Steel 4 is $47.99. Then we have Yooka-Laylee down to $10, and Ease 8, which is another good one to check out, at $20. But yeah, a lot of really good games on sale. I'm gonna give a particular shout out to Blossom Tales. I think that's one you should certainly be checking out. And then Monster Boy, a very good 2D platformer there. But let me know some of your suggestions down in the comments. Next up, let's talk about a concern that people have right now with that Nintendo Switch OLED model, and that has to do with that OLED screen and burn-in, which is where a still image remains on the screen long enough and it'll just kind of stay there as like this ghosted image. It's pretty annoying, and I have noticed people say that like their OLED display, sometimes it'll just kind of go away over time, that ghosted image of that still shot that was there, but it's still something people do worry about with OLED displays. And I mean, the Switch OLED is going to have an OLED just attached to the system at all times. Well, we can head over here where Nintendo did give a response to CNET about that situation. They say, we've designed the OLED screen to aim for longevity as much as possible, but OLED displays can experience image retention if subjected to static visuals over a long period of time. However, users can take preventative measures to preserve the screen by utilizing features included in the Nintendo Switch systems by default, such as auto brightness function to prevent the screen from getting too bright, and the auto sleep function to go into auto sleep mode after short periods of time. Yeah, the burn-in effect has to do with overall screen brightness. I believe the brighter the screen itself and the still image on there, the more likely there is to have burn-in. But if you have like auto sleep to kind of cut the display, there are other things that we've seen like TV manufacturers do where they will kind of like vibrate the image slightly just to kind of move the pixels around a bit, just to kind of shake them up so they don't get like kind of ingrained with that ghosted image. I do wonder if Nintendo will add different things maybe through the Switch OLED's life that can work in to kind of mitigate the idea of burn-in. I don't necessarily think it's going to be as big of an issue with the Switch OLED itself because the screen, it's part of a portable system, and I mean, I feel like most people aren't going to be playing it in portable mode for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. I mean, the Switch's biggest thing is that it's pick up and play, and you can kind of game on in smaller periods of time. So I'm thinking the screen itself will be on and off, you know, a lot throughout the day, and it may not have the likelihood of screen burn-in on the OLED like you would with a TV that could just be on passively, not even thinking about it, you know, for the entire day or something. So we'll really find out more when the OLED itself, the OLED Switch comes out, and we even have teardowns and they check out what kind of screen for the OLED and all this is in there, and obviously over time as people get a chance to use it. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Sony and McDonald's going at it over a PS5 controller. In fact, you can see that PS5 controller here. I saw this on Twitter from Luke Plunkett, and well, that's certainly a PS5 controller. You can see the McDonald's red. We have the Big Mac there on the bottom right, and then the fries on the left. They even kind of changed up the face buttons to be yellow, so there you go. And apparently what was going to happen here is they were going to have a live stream and give these controllers away, these custom PS5 controllers away, in celebration of McDonald's 50th birthday, specifically in Australia. There was just one issue. Apparently they forgot to check in with Sony if they were allowed to do that, and this was the message they released saying, unfortunately, McDonald's Stream Week has been postponed and won't be going ahead this Sunday. We are unable to confirm a new date for the proposed event at this time. We will have some great prizing, including Maka's 50th birthday hoodies and 50 channel subscriptions for each streamer to give away. We will be in contact with the new timing as soon as we have confirmed it. Sony PlayStation has not authorized the use of its controller and promotional materials related to proposed Stream Week event, and we apologize for any inconvenience caused. McDonald's Stream Week has been postponed, and Sony PlayStation controllers will not be included in the giveaway. So it is odd that McDonald's didn't think to check in with Sony, because usually that is some sort of collaboration that will happen between brands and everything's signed off when it comes to the trademarks and everything's being used properly and the right imagery is there. Like we saw Sony and Burger King do the giveaway for the PS5. So obviously Sony's done this with like fast food chains and stuff before. It just appears that I guess McDonald's in Australia specifically thought, hey, it'd be a fun idea to kind of paint and dress up a PS5 controller, just kind of give them away, but Sony's not messing around with that, obviously, and they told them to shut it down. You know, I do wonder if McDonald's has already made up some of these PlayStation 5 controllers, or if they were just planning to, because when it's all said and done after this generation, like let's say 10 years from now, we could be looking back on it at the McDonald's controllers that are super rare and impossible to find, and we'll be like, remember when Sony and McDonald's went at it and Sony shut them down, and then they threw out these controllers and they were found and they're like $10,000 or $20,000 on eBay, or who knows, maybe Sony requires them to destroy them, or maybe they just never made them. Like, it's just a weird situation. We were this close to having McDonald's themed PS5 controllers out there in the wild. And before we go to the comment of the day, or tail of the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I asked, and I had to know this one, how many times have you purchased GTA 5? 29% said once, 24% said twice, 11% said 3 times or more, and then 36% said I've never purchased GTA 5. It's just never gonna end. That means that 36% of the people who voted in this poll are potential new customers for Grand Theft Auto 5. You just walk into the store and be like, you know what? I'm finally gonna make that GTA 5 purchase, and then Rockstar and Take-Two look around and say, well, why are we gonna make GTA 6? I mean, I understand there are people who've bought it multiple times, like I've bought it multiple times because it came out on the 360, I got it there. And then it showed up again on the Xbox One and the PS4, and I got it there. And I did look at that PC version. I thought about it because of like the mods and stuff that were happening. That was awesome. And then I'm like, wow, that's 3 times I've bought this game. And that's why we still don't have GTA 6. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Master Quake saying, this makes me hopeful that Bandai Namco has also reconsidered the Xenosaga trilogy on Switch. They bagged that previously for the same reason. You're right about that, actually. That was brought up at one point, and Bandai Namco was like, that might not sell. That was like marketing research reasons or something. And basically, I'm sure they went to people who maybe were a bit younger, and they were like, would you like to see a Xenosaga trilogy? And they said, what's Xenosaga? That's most likely what happened. I would like to think that Bandai Namco is just watching the Switch continue to grow in install size and approach that 100 million amount of units sold. And they're like, you know, let's just start moving everything we can over. If they can start getting these releases closer to when they come out on other platforms and their full price, that'd be better, because .hack is going to come out and it's probably going to be like $50. And again, everywhere around it, like on the PS4 or on PC, it's continuously marked down like 80%. So it is going to be a harder sell for that Switch version that they already weren't that sure of. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. There's an Xbox game streaming box. Would you like to see Microsoft do that? And is that something you're interested in? Maybe for a separate room in the house and you can stream your current Xbox, or maybe you are someone interested in cloud gaming. Let me know about that one. Also about that eShop sale. If you have any suggestions, like I said, drop them in the comments down below. And then the whole thing around McDonald's and Sony. What fast food chain or restaurant would you like to see attempt a video game controller? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.